everybody, and welcome back to another Coaster Cheetah video. And in this video, I'll be discussing my favorite amusement park that I have been to and why it is my favorite, because I was originally going to make a ranking video, since it is the end of the year, of my favorite parks for this year. However, I realized I haven't gone to that many parks to rank them, so what I'm going to do is just go through all of the ones that I've been to, and then decide my ultimate favorite park. So first off, I have been to both of the Universal parks in Orlando. I've been to all the Disney World parks. I have been to both Busch Gardens parks. I've been to Six Flags Over Georgia. I've been to Legoland, Florida, and America's Rock and Roller Coaster, Cedar Point. I've been to Dollywood and Hershey Park. And out of all those, I've noticed that even if a park, for example, like Hershey Park has, an awesome coaster lineup, one of the best in the world at this point, especially since they're getting Wildcats Revenge. At the same time, I do prefer parks like Busch Gardens Williamsburg, Busch Gardens Tampa, parks like those which don't have as many roller coasters or rides per se, but they have a better atmosphere, because a park like the Busch Gardens parks are just beautiful, and Hershey Park is kind of at that level, in the middle of a Six Flags and Cedar Fair park, which is not really a knock against it. It's not like the place is trashed or anything. It's just, I do prefer, even if, because Busch Gardens Williamsburg, it does have a decent amount of rides. It has 9 going on 10 right now. However, I do prefer that more than Hershey Park because of the atmosphere and everything, like the food and everything like that. For me, it's not just the coasters that are good at a park, and I feel like most people are like that they don't always just look at the coasters for a park. So in this video, Cedar Point is not going to necessarily be number one just because it may have the best coasters, may or may not. We could argue that all day, but for me, it's going to be one of the pretty parks, so look out for Islands of Adventure and Busch Gardens parks, and of course, Cedar Point. Cedar Point is beautiful with the awesome, water, the island peninsula and stuff, and of course, Dollywood. Now, I will say Dollywood I'm probably going to rule out, because I went there and the only coaster I rode was Fire Chaser Express, because I was really little and I was terrified of all the rides. However, I rode some of the other rides, and I do remember, the atmosphere, and it was beautiful, but I can't really judge it based just off the atmosphere and that one coaster I rode. So I'm going to rule out all the other parks, they don't have a great atmosphere, like Hershey Park, Six Flags Over Georgia, Legoland, Florida. It's more of a kid park, so I'm going to rule that out too, and Dollywood is also ruled out. So now we have Cedar Point, and the Disney parks I'm going to talk about next, because I feel like the Disney parks are, again, more geared towards families. However, they are making, changes to make it more, I feel like more extreme rides. They have made, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind. Now they're making Tron, which is incredible. They both look great, and I'm excited to ride Guardians of the Galaxy next week. However, it's just, I feel like the parks have always not been my favorite. I definitely prefer Universal parks, and for that reason, I am going to rule the Disney parks out. But if you're wondering, my favorite Disney World park is Hollywood Studios by a landslide. So now we have the Busch Gardens parks, Cedar Point, and I think that's, Islands of Adventure. I'm also going to rule out Universal's Hollywood Studios, because, it's just bad. It's not, I don't know if I'd say bad, but it's just really not a good park. Sorry, not Hollywood Studios, I meant just Universal Orlando. I'm just not a big fan at all. I think they really need a new standout ride, and they need to remove Red Rocket to make that happen. But Revenge of the Mummy is great. So now we have Islands of Adventure, the 2 Busch Gardens parks, and Cedar Point. Now, for me, Cedar Point was pretty and all. However, I really just felt like it, honestly, the actual real core of the park, I do love the western area, and it does have a lot, it is such a great park for families. They have everything there, but honestly, I feel like it has been getting a little worse in terms of, honestly, everything. However, I am really excited for the awesome comeback that it's going to have, but for now, I am ruling Cedar Point out, so hopefully it will be higher next year. However, now we have 3 parks. We have Busch Gardens Tampa, Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and Islands of Adventure. And this is really close, but I am going to rule out Islands of Adventure because honestly, the theming is great. It's one of the best theme parks in the entire world. However, something about it just, like, I feel like it has more of like an industrial look. Like, I don't, that kind of sounds weird, but I prefer the more natural looking beauty of Busch Gardens Tampa and Williamsburg over the like machinery theming and stuff like that at Islands of Adventure. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad or anything. I just prefer the Busch Gardens looks, and I do love the ride and theme sections at Islands of Adventure, and I can't wait for Epic Universe. But yeah, for now it is ruled out. And now this comes down to 2 parks, Busch Gardens Tampa and Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Both of them are amazing. However, I am going to rule out Williamsburg, which means Busch Gardens Tampa is my favorite park, and honestly, I don't see that changing for a while. However, I am going to a lot of great parks in 2023. I'm revisiting Dollywood, Silver Dollar City. I'm pretty sure I'm going to like Kentucky Kingdom or something like that, maybe Six Flags Great America. So yeah, I really cannot wait to go there, and they'll all be on the list next year. However, the reason why I'm ruling out Williamsburg is I do think Busch Gardens Tampa's coaster collection is better, but also the fact that it has all the animals, and like I think probably the atmosphere of Williamsburg is kind of honestly tied with Tampa, because it depends like the architecture, which one you think looks better, but honestly the animals just like completely beat Williamsburg out in any factor, because the combination of the awesome huge like animal selection plus the coaster collection plus they are getting Serengeti Flyer and they have Falcon's Fury, that awesome flat ride 1-2 punch will be crazy. So yeah, Busch Gardens Tampa does win my best park of 2022. And comment down below if you do agree with me. And yeah, comment down below what your favorite park is. And if you did enjoy, please like and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.